Imagine this. You work for 40 years. Every single day. You show up, you put in the hours, you collect your paycheck. You do everything society told you to do. Get a stable job. Pay your bills. Don't cause problems. Retire at 65. And then you get there. And the money isn't there. Not because you were lazy. Not because you made obviously terrible decisions. But because nobody ever told you the rules of the game you were actually playing. According to a study by the Employee Benefit Research Institute, nearly half of Americans retire with less than $25,000 in savings. Not $25,000 per year, $25,000 total. After 40 years of work. And this isn't a rare edge case. This is the majority. This is the default outcome of following standard advice in a system that was never designed to make you wealthy. And in this video I'm going to show you exactly why this keeps happening and what the people who actually retire comfortably do differently. If you're someone who wants to retire without financial stress, hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps. Let's start with the first reason. And it's the one that nobody wants to say out loud. Trading time for money is a trap with a ceiling. Every job, no matter how well paying, has a fundamental limitation. You can only work so many hours. Which means your income has a hard cap. And once you hit that cap, the only way to earn more is to work more. More hours. More stress. More of your life exchanged for a fixed rate. The problem is that expenses don't have a ceiling. Inflation rises. Healthcare costs increase. Lifestyle expands. And slowly, quietly, the gap between what you earn and what you need starts closing. Then it disappears entirely. Most people spend 40 years running faster on a treadmill that keeps accelerating, and they never stop to ask why the destination never gets closer. The people who retire comfortably understand something different. Income from time is temporary. Income from assets is permanent. And they spend their working years building the second kind alongside the first. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Because the second reason is mathematical. And once you see it, you cannot ignore it. It's called the inflation erosion problem. Let's say you work hard your entire career and manage to save $300,000 by retirement. That sounds like a lot. But here's the reality. At a modest 3% annual inflation rate, the purchasing power of that $300,000 halves roughly every 24 years. Which means by the time you hit 89, your savings by half of what they bought at 65. And people are living longer than ever. The average life expectancy in developed countries is now pushing past 80. Many people live into their 90s. Which means retirement isn't a 5-year finish line. It's potentially a 25 to 30-year financial marathon. Most people plan for a sprint and end up running a marathon with empty pockets. But here's the part that really stings. The third reason people retire broke is the one they had the most control over and used the least. They started too late. This is not about blame. This is about mathematics. Specifically compound interest. The most powerful financial force in existence and the most consistently ignored. Here is what the numbers actually look like. If you invest $200 per month starting at age 25 with an average 8% annual return, by age 65 you have approximately $702,000. If you wait until 35 to start the exact same investment, same amount, same return, you end up with roughly $298,000. Same money invested. 10 years difference. $400,000 gap. 10 years of waiting costs $400,000. Not because of anything complicated. Simply because compound interest needed more time to work. Most people spend their 20s thinking retirement is someone else's problem. Something to think about later. And later becomes 35. Then 45. And by then the mathematics have already made the decision for them. Now let's talk about the fourth reason. And this one is the system working exactly as designed. Just not for you. Most retirement advice is built around the 40-year plan. Work. Save in your company pension. Collect Social Security. Retire. And this plan has one catastrophic assumption built into it. That the system will remain stable for 40 years. That pension funds won't underperform. That Social Security will still exist in its current form. That your employer will still be around. History is not kind to that assumption. Pension funds have collapsed. Social Security faces long-term funding questions. Companies downsize. Industries disappear. The people who retire comfortably never relied on one single system. They built multiple income streams. Investments. Rental income. Business revenue. Dividends. Things that pay regardless of what any single institution decides to do. Depending entirely on one employer and one government program for 40 years is not a retirement plan. It is a hope. So what does the alternative actually look like? Free things. First, start now regardless of how late you think it is. The second best time to plant a tree is today. Even starting at 45 with consistent investing produces dramatically better outcomes than starting at 55. Every month of delay is mathematically expensive. Second, build one income stream outside your job. It doesn't have to be large. A small rental property. Dividend-paying index funds. A side skill that generates income. Anything that pays you without requiring your daily hours. One extra stream changes everything over time. Third, treat your retirement account like a bill. Not optional. Not what's left over. The first payment that leaves your account every single month before anything else gets touched. Automate it. Make it invisible. Because money you never see is money you never spend. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Working hard for 40 years was never the path to financial security. Working hard while simultaneously building assets was. And most people were never taught the difference. The system produces broke retirees not because people are failures, but because following the system perfectly leads exactly there. The people who escape that outcome don't work harder. They just play a slightly different game. Starting earlier. Building ownership. Creating income that doesn't require their time. And the beautiful thing is that game is available to anyone willing to start playing it today. If this opened your eyes, hit subscribe. And tell me honestly, did anyone ever teach you about compound interest or investing when you were growing up? Let me know in the comments because I think most of us already know that answer.